What is up, fellow exorcists? I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we're doing what if Deku had shadow clones. Yeah, I know, this is the best idea I've ever come up with, the most newest idea. Like, no one has ever done this idea, you know? This is like the best thing I've ever come up with, you know? And actually, I'm actually going to be taking this in a different route, so no joke right here. I'm actually not going to give him a quirk, I'm not going to give him chakra, so you guys are just going to have to watch the video to see what's going on. But other than that, we actually have a new AMV, and I'll be explaining more on it later at the end of the video. And other than that, let's just play the new intro. Okay, so we start off this what if with Izuku in the Pure Lands. And if you don't know what this is actually the afterlife or heaven in Naruto. Then, Izuku starts looking around and notices a bunch of shinobi as he's wondering where he is. As shinobi start to surround Izuku and ask him how he's here, and he's a bit too young to be here. And Izuku, the last thing he remembers was being at the quirk doctor and the quirk doctor telling him that he doesn't have a quirk. As Izuku's completely confused why he's here and where he is in general. Then Izuku turns around and notices a huge nine-tails fox as Kurama walks toward Izuku as Izuku gets frightened and falls back onto the ground. As all of a sudden Kurama asks Izuku and how he's here and how he possesses absolutely zero chakra. As Izuku's completely confused what this huge nine-tails fox is talking about. Then Naruto walks from behind Kurama and tells Kurama to calm down with the questions since he's only a kid and he probably doesn't remember what happened and how he got here. As he sits down next to Izuku and asks Izuku if he remembers anything, any little fragments of how he got here and what happened to him. As Izuku tries to remember, as he tells Naruto that he was at the quirk doctor and when the quirk doctor told him that he doesn't have a quirk, he passed out and now he's here and he's seeing a huge nine-tails fox. As Naruto laughs and asks Izuku what a quirk is, as Izuku's completely confused, seeing that he doesn't know what a quirk is. Then Naruto asks Izuku if he feels fine since he has absolutely zero chakra, as Izuku says that he feels fine but he still doesn't know what chakra is, as Naruto's completely stunned at what Izuku just asked him. Then Naruto frantically asks Izuku if he knows what Hokages are. But then Izuku says that he doesn't know what Hokages are, but he knows what pro heroes are. As Naruto's completely stunned as he starts to think, as he tells Izuku that he might be from a different world. As Izuku's completely stunned, as he asks Naruto how he's here and what this place is exactly, as Naruto tells Izuku that this is the afterlife in his world and that Izuku might be dead. As Izuku's completely confused in how this could have happened, as he still has a life to live, as Izuku gets onto the ground and starts crying. Then Naruto comforts Izuku, telling him that it'll be alright, as Izuku says that his life's gone and that he can't do anything now. As Naruto asks Izuku and how his old life was, or his old world was. As Izuku explains quirks again, and tells Naruto about his life, and how he wanted to be like his favorite hero, like All Might, and be amazing just like him when he got his quirk. But when he went to the quirk doctor, he found out that he doesn't have a quirk and he couldn't achieve his dream. As Naruto sighs and tells Izuku that he has a similar story, and that he was just a boy and he wanted to be a Hokage as well, as everyone in his village would treat him harshly just because he had a demon fox in him. As he points toward Kurama, as Kurama starts laughing and tells Naruto that he's not, a demon fox. As Naruto starts laughing as well, as he starts to explain to Izuku that he had a dream to become the Hokage and being the strongest ninja. As he tells Izuku that even though he didn't have the best of anything, he tried his hardest to achieve his dream. As Izuku gets inspired by Naruto. Then Izuku asks Naruto if there's any way that he can get chakra himself, as Naruto thinks and tells Izuku about chakra, telling him that chakra is mainly just a mix of spiritual energy and physical energy, and everyone has physical energy and they just need to find a substitute for, spiritual energy, as he tells Izuku there's one way and that he could probably use nature energy as the substitute. As Izuku's confused what he's even talking about, as Naruto tells Izuku to follow him and that he'll explain. Then Naruto takes Izuku to the sage oil. This is different from the toad oil in the anime. So he takes the sage oil and rubs it on Izuku's hand, as Izuku asks Naruto what he's doing. As Naruto explains to Izuku, telling him that the sage oil has compounds that attracts nature energy into him. And by doing this, he'll be able to grasp the fact that nature energy is all around them, as he has to flow it in and out of his body to make sure that, he sustains himself. And if he doesn't, he's going to be transforming into something that he doesn't know, since the sage oil has properties of all toad oil and all the other sage modes around. As Izuku's completely confused as what Naruto just told him. But then, all of a sudden, Izuku feels a bunch of energy just flowing into him, as he's completely confused what's going on, as he feels completely different from his normal self, as he feels lighter and more energetic. As Izuku starts to look at his face and nothing's happening like Naruto said, as Naruto's kind of stunned, seeing that nothing's happening to Izuku. As Naruto thinks and realizes that since Izuku's from a different world, it seems like the nature energy is not responding properly with Izuku's body, and it might be just absorbing, and Izuku might just be absorbing the nature energy and not releasing it. And since he's from a different world, I don't think he needs to release it, as Naruto is completely stunned, seeing that he might have just created a new energy for Izuku. As Izuku is just completely confused, since a bunch of energy just starts to flow into Izuku, as he feels like there's no capacity, as Izuku starts running around at blitzing speeds, feeling his body being much more lighter and much more better in general. As Izuku calms down, Naruto shows Izuku the Shadow Clone, as he's just completely surprised in that, chakra can do all this, as he's super, mesmerized and is just wondering how Naruto did this. As Naruto tells Izuku that he might even be able to use this as well, as he tells Izuku to do the same hand signs as him. As Izuku does this, he uses the Shadow Clone successfully, as Izuku is completely surprised that there's a clone right next to him. Even though it might be a bit flimsy and, looking a bit weird, Izuku is happy that he actually was even able to use this, and he starts running around, and he's happy that he was even able to use the Shadow Clone, seeing that he finally has a power that he could use. As Naruto tells Izuku that he first needs to learn how he can harness the nature energy without using the sage oil, as he tells Izuku to go stand next to the sage oil, as Izuku does so. As he gets there, Naruto immediately kicks him in, telling him that he needs to actually learn and how he's actually absorbing the energy. As Izuku tries to learn and how he's absorbing the energy while using the sage oil, as he can feel the nature energy coming into him. And right now, you guys are probably wondering, isn't this just chakra but in a more complex way? Well, yes and no, because I'm adding a different aspect which will probably be in later parts, and it's probably going to be better as well. So it's not just regular chakra, so you don't have to worry about that. So as we continue on with the what if, Izuku learns multiple things from Naruto, such as how to harness nature energy without using the sage oil, and how to use the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and he's about to, reach the 5 Shadow Clone Jutsu mark, since he can absorb the nature energy, but since he doesn't have any chakra pads, he can't actually absorb it properly, and so he's only able to absorb little at a time, and he's only able to use 1 jutsu at a time. And he also learns multiple things from Naruto as well, which includes Toad martial arts, as he also learns other things from other stage mode users as well, such as Hashirama Mitsuki, and also the best man himself, Jiraiya, the pervy sage. But as we get to present day, Izuku's just trying to, harness a bunch of nature energy, trying to increase his cap on his nature energy. But while he's training, there's a huge beam of light that appears right out of nowhere in the middle of the Pure Lands. As it starts to expand, Izuku's completely confused as nothing seems to be changing. But then, as the light appears next to Izuku starts to dissipate, as Izuku's completely confused what's going on. But then, when Izuku wakes up again, he notices he's back in his child body, and that he's at the quirk doctor's, as he's completely confused what's going on. But then, Izuku turns around and notices his mom, as he sees that his mom's crying, as he immediately falls into tears, seeing that he hasn't seen his mom in so long, as he immediately jumps up and hugs his mom, as his mom says that she's sorry that he doesn't have a quirk, as Izuku says that he doesn't care, as he just continues to hug his mom, as his mom's completely confused why Izuku's not sad about, not having a quirk. But then, as Izuku gets home that day, he puts his hands together, hoping that he can sense nature energy somewhere around. As Izuku's focusing, he can sense the nature energy as it drags it into his body. As he's absorbing the nature energy, he yells in, happiness, saying that he actually has nature energy, as he's happy that he finally has a power and that he could probably use it to become a hero. As Izuku's training, he realizes that he could probably try using the Shadow Clone, as he puts his hands together and uses the Shadow Clone sign, as all of a sudden, a Shadow Clone appears right next to Izuku, as Izuku gets immensely happy, seeing that he actually gained his powers and that not all of his progress was lost from transferring from that world to this one. As Izuku goes to the park the next day, he sees Bakugo bullying this other kid for absolutely zero reason, as he's using his power to bully other kids, as Izuku completely gets frustrated, seeing that he has this amazing power, but is bullying other kids. As Izuku gets there, he tells Bakugo to stop, telling him that it's not right and not what a hero would do, and that he's just wasting his power. As Bakugo gets frustrated, telling Izuku that he heard that he doesn't have a quirk, and that he doesn't have a say in telling him what to do. As Bakugo immediately rushes at Izuku, as he is about to land a punch on Izuku, but Izuku immediately dodges this, grabbing Bakugo's hand and slamming him into the ground. As Bakugo coughs up spit as he lands on the ground. As Bakugo gets up, he asks Izuku and how he's able to do that, as Izuku tells Bakugo to come and find out. As Bakugo is getting angrier, as his goons start to surround Izuku and him, but Bakugo tells his goons to back off, telling him that this is his fight. As his goons back off, Bakugo immediately rushes in at blitzing speeds, hitting Izuku with an explosion straight to his chest, thinking that he won, as Izuku immediately flies back, but he lands on his feet. As he smiles, telling his Bakugo that was a good shot, but not good enough. As Izuku puts his hands together, charging up nature energy, as he puts the Shadow Clone hand signs, as he yells. And that's where we're going to be ending off the what if. And I already know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, you just use nature energy for a substitute for chakra. Well, I mean, I'm sorry for making that voice, but still, I think that nature energy is a bit more different, and I'm going to be using it in a different way as well, so don't worry about it being exactly like chakra. Yes, I'm not going to lie, it is somewhat like chakra, but I'm going to be using it in a different way. So, other than that, let's talk about the new AMV artist that I just, gave me an AMV, and this man's the best. His name is Musbill. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But other than that, this dude's TikTok is fire as well, so you guys should go check it out. And other than that, guys, there's a red button down there, and if you hit that, and then there's a notification bell, if you hit that as well, and hit that like button, our videos spread, and we can expand our community. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later.